Alright, come on now. Fast cars, an aging movie star, the director of Top Gun Maverick, and a soundtrack of complete bangers? If we're not careful, every single father across the globe is about to make this thing a $4 billion movie. F1 is the latest adrenaline-filled sports drama blockbuster, and it follows racing legend Sonny Hayes as he's coaxed out of retirement to lead a struggling Formula One team and mentor a young hotshot driver while chasing one more final chance at glory. So like any self-respecting human being on planet Earth, I absolutely adore Top Gun Maverick, and I couldn't wait to see what the director of that epic film got up to next. And helming the F1 movie really makes a lot of sense for his talents. You know, he might be trading in wings for wheels, but he's still bringing that same level of intensity to it and sprinkling in the tiniest bit of cheese that these movies really require. And I'm not gonna lie, I think I'm just a pretty easy sell when it comes to motorsports movies in general. Pretty much any of the notable ones that have come out over the course of my lifetime, I've pretty much really liked. Ford v Ferrari, Rush, I mean, even Cars. They just offer up a really simple but well-executed adrenaline-filled time at the movies. So when it comes to F1, when I sat down to watch this movie, I was expecting a high-octane but predictable big-budget blockbuster, which I mean in the most complimentary way possible, and that's exactly what I got out of it. When it comes to the story they decided to go with here, the thing you need to remember about these kinds of movies is that it's really not all that much about the ins and outs of the narrative structure. It's a lot more about following a checklist of what makes these dad movies good and entertaining the entire way through. Like, you'd probably be able to guess all of the beats this thing is going to hit from beginning to end without even seeing a trailer for it, and that most likely wouldn't diminish any satisfaction you're going to get from watching it. Like, let's be honest here for a second. How many times have we seen the same generic plot idea being used over and over countless times in movies like this? You know, you've got your down on his luck driver. He's got one more shot at redemption and glory before he's over the hill. He's very old school, but he's going up against new school methodologies. We've seen that done a boatload of times, but that doesn't make it any less entertaining. Until it actually did make it a little bit less entertaining. Because the first two acts of this movie are really strong when it comes to the story, and there was a few surprises in there that worked for me. But the way the third act goes and the beats that it follows is just so cookie cutter and predictable that even though the spectacle it's all wrapped up in is top notch, it wasn't able to put a unique or emotional bow on top of it all at the end. Now, don't get me wrong, this is still a total crowd pleaser of a film. It's a lot of fun. The story gives you what you're pretty much expecting out of it, but I just don't know if it's going to leave that much of a lasting impression when it's all said and done. When it comes to the performances in the film, we obviously have to talk about my guy Brad Pitt here. I've pretty much been a fanboy of his from the beginning, one of my all-time favorite actors for as long as I can remember, and I think back to some of his roles like in Moneyball, Fight Club, the Ocean's movies. He's always dishing out the most effortless, cool guy performances, and he definitely continues that trend yet again here in F1. I mean, the dude has been one of the biggest stars on the planet for the last 50 years, and rightfully so. Absolutely love watching the guy. And like I mentioned earlier, we know what kind of movie this is, so you always need that back and forth dynamic between the young buck and the old vet, and you for sure get that here in spades. Damson Idris plays the second biggest character in the film, and he does a good job playing this young new racer on the scene that's always going toe-to-toe with Brad Pitt and giving him crap any chance he gets. He doesn't want to lose his spot on the team and will do literally anything possible to make sure that doesn't happen. When you look at the supporting cast here, it's full of actors you can count on like Kerry Condon and Javier Bardem, who should literally be put in every movie ever at this point because he always brings his A game. But this could easily go down as one of the best ensembles of the year, at least the most fun to watch, because everyone here has pretty good chemistry amongst one another. Now let's talk about the driving sequences included in this movie, because that's really the bread and butter of this project and the entire reason that it exists in the first place. Joseph Kosinski is the man behind the camera this time around. If you don't know that name, he's the beautiful bastard that gave us Top Gun Maverick, and a lot like that film, here we are once again in the driver's seat of some super expensive metal death trap. The camera angles and the sound design do so much legwork over the course of the narrative that I'm at the point that I'm ready to crown this movie the essential summer blockbuster experience of 2025, and it really needs to be seen on a big IMAX screen. Like, if you're somebody that doesn't live nearby to any premium large format theaters, this is probably the movie where you make an exception and take your annual trip to go see something in the largest theater possible. To put it simply, the racing scenes are all unbelievable. They're filmed really well, the stakes are properly set, and they get the adrenaline pumping like only Kosinski can. What more could you ask for out of a summer blockbuster? Overall, guys, F1 the movie is exactly what you think it's going to be when you hear that the dude behind Top Gun Gun Maverick is making a racing film. It's loud, it's entertaining, it's cheesy, all the main ingredients of a well-executed dad movie. Brad Pitt is in his element here, playing an old dog trying to learn a new trick, and he dishes out a certified movie star performance. I wish it stuck the landing more with the story and the emotion, but it's still a really good capital M movie that should be experienced on a huge IMAX screen. F1 the movie gets a Sully score of 4 stars. So that's my review of the latest racing film. What do you think is your favorite movie within that genre? I think I have to go with Ford v Ferrari, but let me know in the comments below what you think. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys at the next one.